Welcome to Dissecting the Director, a channel dedicated to the study of film directors. This video is all about the director Sofia Coppola and the vast emotional range of her auteur filmography. Coppola is a complex director to grasp fully. This essay could go on for 2 hours and barely scratch the surface of subtext involved in her films. The deep layers she provides in her films are what make her so exciting to watch as a viewer. Audiences can pull something new from movies with each new viewing. It could be argued that Sofia Coppola is one of the most talented modern filmmakers, whose talent and knowledge of the craft make her films stand out constantly. However, the subtext and range of emotional upheaval can leave many critics alienated, and I think that's why sometimes she doesn't get the best reviews. She offers her perspective and then bends it into a film representing a multitude of ideas all at once. Some critics just cannot always appreciate what's going on. I will admit, I find myself lost at times in her films, but I'm also a man, and that's the best part of Coppola's films is that they are from a woman's perspective. The film industry does not provide enough opportunities for women directors. So when a talented director like Sofia Coppola is able to use her platform to make films offering a marginalized perspective, it's worth paying attention to. With this in mind, let's get into some techniques and motifs used by Coppola and her crew that make her movies so rewarding to watch, starting with story structure.
Does it get easier?
No. Yeah.
Coppola's first success was Lost in Translation. It's a film many are familiar with, but studying it reveals a lot more of the perspective Coppola offers as an auteur in the industry. You see, Lost in Translation is about isolation. That much we know. There's a mystifying sense of alienation that spreads across the film. And that alienation is the mechanism used to connect the two protagonists, Bob and Charlotte. Yet it does even more in terms of development of character. Much of Coppola's early work focused on the idea of isolation, but more specifically on female isolation. Her character, Charlotte, is closed off from her husband, and the audience is made to feel that in a number of ways. The most powerful of these ways is silence. Charlotte is shown alone in her thoughts a lot in this film, and most of the worry in her character and reluctance is shown through visuals. Coppola and her editor, Sarah Flack, are not afraid to communicate with the audience this way. Lost in Translation does not lean on dialogue at all. Instead, the tension and struggle to find comfort and familiarity in an alien place is displayed through silent moments. The story breathes, and the viewer is invited to somberly walk with the characters and discern meaning in tiny moments of exchanges. Even the famous last scene is a whisper that we, the viewer, will never hear. The whole film is about the unsaid, and how often we become lost within ourselves when we become isolated. It takes clear direction from a talented filmmaker to build a story on silent moments. In fact, silence is not that uncommon in Coppola's films, and she utilizes the strong cinematography work of Lance Accord to help craft strong visual messaging. However, there's even more to the cinematography for filmography, and one of my personal favorite things Coppola does with the camera is use it as a character. What I mean is Coppola does not shy away from clear and direct movement of the camera. You can see this in her film Marie Antoinette. This film is best known for its stylized visuals and strong blocking. It has a remarkable set and wardrobe design that on the front end already make this film eye candy for those who love good cinematography. Her characters communicate a lot through the way they are set in the frame and how they are dressed, and all this communicates the themes of the movie. But what's even more remarkable is the way the camera moves. Sofia Coppola is not afraid of the audience becoming aware of the camera. At times, she even challenges the viewers to gaze in a way that feels as if we're spying on Marie Antoinette's life from afar. The viewpoint challenges the audience to directly engage with the character at an emotional level, so that when the camera pans and zooms, we feel as if we're the ones moving to follow the character. This kind of direct acknowledgement of the camera as a character is often seen in nonfiction work, but using it in these films makes us address our own perspective on the character, especially one as prominent as Marie Antoinette. When a director uses the camera in such an obvious way, it is done so the viewer places themselves in the moment and asks themselves how they feel about what they are watching. Coppola wants you to do this with her characters, because too often our female characters are left to only one dimension of emotion and development. The cinematography of her work isolates the female characters and addresses the character to make the audience empathize and grasp the range of complex characteristics hiding under the surface facade her character is displaying. That part of her work is remarkable. But what's even more remarkable is that Coppola's been doing this kind of talented, intuitive work in a more limited format. Coppola's directing music videos is her quirk that displays even more of her style of filmmaking. Coppola uses soundtracks in her film that push the boundary of expectation. Scenes in Marie Antoinette and Lost in Translation play out like music videos, so it's clear that to better understand the intention of the overall work, you should look at her work in music video directing. What you will find is an array of videos where the main character is a woman or woman isolated in the frame, intercut with the band performing in stylized lighting. Now this did take time to evolve, and this here Giraffe by the Flaming Lips seems to be an exception for the most part. However, in her latest two music videos, I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself by the White Stripes and Chloroform by Phoenix, this idea can be seen more clearly. These short films seem to challenge the male gaze and use the songs themselves to wrap the viewer into the characters on screen. We know nothing about these people who are not in the band, yet the emotions they display are felt because they are shown right at the perfect time to match the song's tone. Coppola takes this idea and transfers it into her feature-length movies. The moment a song hits in her films and suddenly you feel thrown into a music video is important. Coppola is trying to communicate a dominating emotional trait in her protagonist and give the viewer a hint into the subtext. The character seems to interact with the song and push the scene into a more digestible meaning. It's what makes her often seemingly simple music videos land with such an honest punch. The videos, simple or not, always fit the emotions of the song like a glove. The same goes for the longer scenes of her film that play out like this. So next time you watch a Coppola film, look out for the music. If there's any clear music video-like scenes, you'll be able to pull a lot of meaning from those moments. Coppola pours a lot into her stories, even when they are filled with silent moments like Lost in Translation, and she pushes the audience into these silent moments with her camera work. If you take a moment to know how all three of these ideas, the silence, the visual command, and the music play with each other, then you can glean even more meaning from her films. With that, you'll gain more perspective and appreciation for this master auteur's work. That is all I have left to say. Thank you for watching, and here's a hint in next month's video.